Uh, okay. Welcome back to Digi Bros. I'm in South Hell, looking for the fucking triforce piece that wasn't. Uh, yeah.
Uh,
Maybe this is it.
you kind of
I
started.
can't
before I was,
hear
like ready.
the motherfucking sounds of music. The hills are not alive.
I got into that point where there's like the questions are everywhere, and I kind of just want to go through them in order. But then it's gonna be like 3 episodes of Devu questions asked
Just
directly
like jump,
at me.
go to a Devu question. I gotta stand next to the fucking TV. Where's the volume?
Can you even hear it? I hear
can't.
nothing.
The fuck?
Turn it up on the pad. Is it coming through the pad?
can't hear
Right there.
anything.
Boom. You passed it probably. Well, try. Give it a shot.
What happened to the sound of the game?
I don't know.
Well, I
You
fucking
got
found
it.
anyways.
Probably not even the Triforce shard. There's just
no
no sound coming out of the game at all.
I was wondering. I felt like there was. What the hell?
Probably been true this whole time, and it was a purple.
Yeah,
wiki,
and I was.
so-
Shit! I need this Triforce piece. Though.
All right. Devu asked thoughts on where the anime industry is going. I think it's going in a direction where studios, like a lot of studios, are changing their shape. A lot of stuff shut down in the last 10 years and was restructured. But I don't think that the shows themselves are changing all that much. I think there's a lot more digital stuff being done, a lot more CG stuff being done. I think that's going to continue to be the case, but I don't think like the types of shows are changing all that much. And I think there's going to be
it's a telescope thing. Okay.
this very much like this push and pull between like people who are making like really generic shit and people who are trying to make really, really original shit or like really expressive shit. Like there's sort of almost like factions. Like okay, the guy who directed Space Dandy and is currently directing One Punch Man clearly is trying to make anime that are incredibly well animated and like, you know, putting people's talents to the test and shit. But I don't know, man. This question is kind of out of my depth because it's not like I really know what's going on behind the scenes. I just think things are going to continue on the natural trajectory.
I have to blow up all the ships.
And Victor clearly does not give a single fuck about this subject. So.
Figure out this Triforce shit, but yes, I don't care.
He also asked thoughts on how Kickstarters are run. I really have never thought super hard about it. The successful ones are successful for very obvious reasons. Like
they had someone famous or their
most
concept is
successful
super strong.
Yeah, it's either that they either have someone famous or they clearly know what they're doing and already are underway.
Or they appeal to some absolutely fucking idiotic part of people's brain that makes them help a guy make a sandwich.
Right.
Some shit like
But like most Kickstarters
perfectly ironic
succeed
bullshit
because the plan is there.
Yeah.
You know, like you can't make a Kickstarter because you have an idea. You make a Kickstarter because you're like already in the process of making the idea.
Yeah.
You know, you need to have something to show for yourself. And the best way to have something to show for yourself is to have past work, you know, to have a portfolio that people love. Especially if your new work perfectly resembles your portfolio, or if you're turning to Kickstarter because you can't get approval on something that people love, but not enough people that Konami thinks it's worth sponsoring, you know, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think Kickstarter kind of is self-explanatory. All right.
I killed the ships.
Thoughts about the possibility of us moving to LA.
Probably not happening anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's gonna
Not
happen.
gonna happen.
Anymore.
Maybe I could move to LA because I'm still up in the air.
There was a period where it seemed like it was gonna happen because basically, Victor has to go somewhere for grad school. We don't even know where he's getting in yet.
Yeah,
But wherever
I've applied
he goes,
now. We'll know in March or April if I get in anywhere.
right? But like Victor's either gonna have to move to Texas or to L.A. probably, or
Yeah.
where else did you apply? Anywhere else?
No.
So it's either gonna be he moves to Austin or L.A. and like we have no idea yet. But like whichever one it was. We our choices were either to send him off on his own, which would be difficult financially, or for the whole family to move, which would mean uprooting ourselves and and changing our whole lifestyle, sort of thing. Which my parents are both, or at least my dad is pretty bored of Virginia Beach. He'd rather live somewhere with more stuff going on, more of a culture, especially for biking and running and all the shit he does, which there's not is not as easy to do here. So he wouldn't mind moving to one of those cities, but like it's a matter of uprooting our big ass house and our big ass family and saying goodbye to everything. And my mom pretty clearly doesn't seem like she wants to do that.
Yeah.
Like she would love to move to LA, but she doesn't seem like she really wants to uproot herself and go through all that trouble, And because we have such a nice house and we love living here, so, even though it would be more fun for all the stuff outside of our house somewhere else, the inside of our house is great. But there was a period where my dad at his job, like, for reasons that were sort of inevitable, he was going to get like a really big pay cut, and he was basically like, I don't really feel like I need to stay at this job if I'm going to get this pay cut, so like let's just fucking move to LA if they do this to me, like if I can't fight this, So for like a couple weeks it seemed like it was really likely we were going to move to LA until of course his work decided to cop to his demands and try to not give him that pay cut, and ended up instead, as of today, making him the manager of a different dealership than the one that he was working at, where they're on a different price plan and stuff, and it's not in the same trouble that the other one is. So basically they wanted to keep him, and that means that we are way less likely to move out because, the situation's not dire like it was before. Things could get better for Dad.
All blown over.
Because, like, he was just under a lot of stress from his job, and if this new workplace, gets rid of a lot of that stress, then he'll probably be a lot less pressured to try to move. But there's still a problem of where the hell's Victor going to go. And
yeah. Not a big deal right now.
Moving to LA would be...
I finished my application, so my stress level is very low right now, and I'm feeling very good about it. And I'm not even gonna think about this shit for a few months, because it's really the more I spend time thinking about the applications and shit, there's absolutely nothing I can do right now.
Right.
I cannot do anything until I hear back. So I'm just wasting a bunch of fucking time doing nothing, because it's all I'm thinking about. And so I'm like, I did the applications, it's over with. Now I need to actually do things around here to build up to like what if I got into no schools, but at least if I did a bunch of shit and had like a bunch of things going, I wouldn't feel bad about that, because I'd be like, well, I'm already doing all these things around here. Like, that would be ideal. I need a backup plan. Now I was working on backup plan versus thinking about moving all the time. What did I just get out of that treasure chest? Was it a fucking map? Did I get a Triforce piece or what?
For a really long time, I was like, I don't want to leave because I love this house.
I didn't get a fucking Triforce piece.
You got a piece of heart.
Was it supposed to be in that fucking the island the dude was on then? What the hell? Because it shows it on my map, like, weird. I'm annoyed. It's part of the game. Jesus.
Yeah. By the way, bear with us. This part of the game is like this, so it's probably going to be like a few episodes. The ghost ship has one of them.
Yeah, I know. Getting on the ghost ship is its own ordeal.
Yeah. So like, I like being in Virginia Beach. I like this town. I feel like a native here, but like LA is one of the few places that there would legitimately be more opportunities for me, even as someone who works from home, because like that's where the YouTube space is. That's where tons of YouTubers that I follow and know are, I would love to live close to Anime Expo as opposed to Otakon because it's way bigger and gets way better guests.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of cool things that I would get out of living in LA, but like I don't know. It's starting to look unlikely that it went from looking really likely to looking completely unlikely that we were going to move.
Which is the story of our fucking lives.
Right. Well, because, like, the whole time we've lived here, my dad is always talking about moving. Because,
all the time.
So it's what we're used to.
Why do we ever take it seriously?
Right. He'll have so many times where he's like, oh, this is it. Things are getting stressful at work. We're going to pack up and move soon. And it's like, okay, as soon as things, like, you blow over at work, then it's not a big deal anymore, you know?
I guess it's probably comforting to him to have, like, options of getting out, you know?
And again, it's like what we're used to. We're used to just fucking bolting off at the drop of a hat from a house.
Yeah.
You know? We've never had a house we were as attached to as this one, that we'd done so much work on and lived in for so long and all that. We also asked about the Analysis HQ.
Where's the fucking hallway light back on?
I don't know, dude.
They're fucking with us.
I don't even see it from where I'm
Maybe
sitting.
dinner's ready.
We would have heard a yum yum if dinner was ready. Analysis HQ, which is my long-term goal of making enough money that I can move all of my internet friends into a house together, or into an area together, like the Game Grumps or Red Letter Media. What do you think of this plan?
I don't know. Do it. Sounds cool. You've been talking about that for a while. I don't think you guys are gonna like end up doing anything except for podcasts. Maybe you'll take over Digi Bros.
I think we'll end up being Red Letter Media. That's my grand idea. Is that I think it would be. I think the ideal situation is if you just have talented people around each other.
Yeah.
Because they will just inevitably
you know what?
do things.
It would be fucking awesome because they could act in the things I write, and then I'd have good actors.
Right.
Potentially. I think so.
Like
I wrote that Cafeteria Bro script. Right. Favorite script I've written. No one can pull that off but those guys, because I wrote it about them. Like,
right.
It's so annoying to me that I write comedy, and I have no faith in comedy actors around this area.
I just think, for me and my friends, like, all of us love, like, working together, but we hate the idea of, like, collab cameo type shit. Like, we're all very much into, like, if you're gonna do a video in a style, then it has to be in like...
Yes.
You don't just force two people's styles together, right?
Don't have some less popular douchebag that nobody cares about come in and go, hey, I'm doing my thing.
Right.
Then you kind of gloss over it for a few minutes and then go like, whatever.
What I'd love to do is shows that are just about us together. You know, like where we start a show that's the me and Jesse show. Or the me and Nate show.
There was a YouTube reality show type thing like that, where it was like a bunch of YouTubers moved into a house together, and it was like a reality show of them doing their videos.
I don't necessarily want it to be all of us in the same house.
It was kind of douchey,
want us all
though,
to live in the same area. Like, the Game Grumps all like live in a relatively close space. Like, you know, I'm pretty sure Danny and Barry live together, and, you know, Aaron's got his wife, Ross has got his wife. They live in their houses together, you know.
Yeah.
But, like, they're all in the same general area, and they have an office where they all meet up. And I really want to have, like, because we've all talked about how we want to have the Grump office.
Of
like,
course.
we'd love to have a shared office space where we can record stuff. And then you've got, like, Red Letter Media, where it's just, like, a bunch of friends who meet up and film shit, you know.
Wouldn't you love to have a house someday? Wouldn't that be cool? To be able to afford living on your own, perhaps.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's where this whole plan is you know, like, that's why I'm saying I don't really want to, like, the plan is not necessarily we all have to be in each other's ass all the time. It's we have to live close enough that we can do shit
proximity
together.
And then you have a space that you go to.
Because, like, I think we would totally become Red Letter Media, where we would do shows that are less about, like the thesis and everything, and more about who it is and what the setup is. You know, like the Plebe and the Weeb that me and Jesse have been talking about for years is basically just that. Like, the idea would not be this is like a detailed review or synopsis or whatever. It would be Jesse and Digi specifically talking about anime.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's the appeal, is that it's the two of us who have very different perspectives, where he's extremely dub guy and extremely like doesn't care about context or the original Japanese or anything like that, and I'm the opposite, you know.
Lord.
So like we would have very different perspectives on anime. He'd be the guy who's coming in with no knowledge outside of what he's watched, you know, and I'd be the guy with all the context. And like, but the show would really just be about the two of us arguing in like a set, you know.
Yes.
But like we could never do it as a podcast. It would have
Where's
to be
my fucking boat?
like half in the bag. And like
Half in the bag.
you know, I could easily see me and Nate, and if Ben's there too, then him as well, like all of us doing like extensive skits and stuff because they're good at shit like that, you know, having the budget to be able to do shit like that, you know, having I think Give and Take would be way more active if he had people like around pushing him to do shit, as opposed to, you know, he gets on Skype and complains about having no ideas, and we all tell him, just make a video.
No, that's an island.
You know, we could just throw him into shit. And
Throw
Devu
him.
would be invited as the iron editor who will edit all of these videos that we put together in between doing his own stuff. But yeah, like I want to have an HQ like that. It really like came to me like not just because the Grumps all live close together, but it was really when Markiplier moved in. Because Markiplier lives like next to the Grumps, basically.
Really?
He like lives like with them practically. Like there was a while where Markiplier was like a guest on Grumps like a bunch of times in a row, and like they were kind of hinting that he was like using their studio space because he had like just moved into that area or something. Like I don't know if that's like a permanent thing or if it was just temporary, but like for at least a little while, Markiplier was like living with the Grumps pretty much.
Whoa.
And I was like, man. And I thought about it, about how like, you know, these guys didn't all like JonTron was originally from New York, you know, and then he moved out to L.A. and like met all those guys and like became a game grump, you know, and like I'm sure that Ross did not necessarily live there, and Danny didn't necessarily live there, and Brian was in fucking like England this whole time.
Jesus.
Like the reason. Like, he's lived in England the whole time they've been, like, doing all this shit. And then he finally moved to the States just because it was inconvenient to have to travel all the time to do Ninja Sex Party stuff. You know, like, the reason Ninja Sex Party videos come out so rarely is because he had to fucking fly across the world to record for them. So, like, I was just thinking, man, imagine if I had the kind of empire where I could, like, guarantee people, if you move out here, you will have work. And you will have a thing, like, you will have a place.
1,000 rupees,
you know?
man.
Like, for my friends who can't possibly afford their own place, I could let them live with me for a while until they can, you know? But, like, the idea would be
Tingle
they're
so
working
interpret
for
my
me.
fucking map.
Because all those guys, they, like Aaron is... Like, they often make remarks that, like, Aaron is the boss. Like, he pays all of them. He's the one managing everything. So, like... That's what I want to be for my friends, like the guy who's giving them the platform and like making it so we all have a place together, you know. And I mean, I would move in with any of them if one of them succeeded before me and wanted to do the same thing. But like, I'm the person who's closest to that, you know, who's had the most success so far in this pursuit.
Yeah, man. Oh, Captain, my fucking captain dog, leader of the. The Munchkin crew.
The Munchkin crew.
Yeah, dog.
Keep on rocking in the free world.
Sweet.
And doot doot doot.
What?
Doot doot doot.
I don't know what
Nardwar.
I hate Nardwar.
Next time on Digi Bros.
Why would you do this to me?